welcome back to Do More Art. My name is Bailey and I'm here to show you all another fun, easy at-home project. Today what we're going to be doing is continuing our theme of resist art for the month, and we are going to be using yarn as our resist layer for today. We're going to be focusing on how to make birch trees, and that is B-I-R-C-H if you need to look that up and see what those are. But they're pretty cool trees. I like them a lot. Normally I give you all a project that's very open-ended, meaning that you see the process that I give you, but you can create anything out of it. This one's a little different because we are all going to be creating birch trees together, but there is still a lot of room for your creativity to go into it, and you can again just learn the process of making these birch trees and then make anything out of it later on if you want. So here's our supply list. First things first, you're going to need a piece of paper or a canvas. If you're using paper, I'm using paper, it's totally fine, but you just need to make sure that you have something sturdy to go behind it, like cardboard or a clipboard or a notebook, something like that, because we are going to be using yarn to wrap around, and whenever you wrap around just paper, it bends like this and it will not be as easy to work on. So just be sure that you have something sturdy if you are working with paper. If you're working with canvas, you don't have to worry about that because it's sturdy enough. You're gonna need some paint, and these are gonna be colors of your choice. We are making a landscape with these birch trees, so you might wanna think about the different kinds of sceneries that you've seen, what colors are involved with that, and go with those colors. You're gonna need some yarn or some string, and you can also use gift wrapping ribbon if you don't have either of those. That will work too. You're gonna need some cotton balls, a black marker, some tape, and some optional things, and I'll explain those in the video later on, are clothespins and Q-tips. But that is all you're gonna need for this project, and let's get started. All right, so as always, before we get started, just be sure that you have all the supplies that you see here. First things first, we have our piece of paper and or canvas. If you're using paper though, you just need to make sure that you have something sturdy behind it, like cardboard or a clipboard or something like that. You're gonna need some paint. Hopefully yours hasn't mixed like mine has already. You're gonna need some string or yarn, and that is why you're gonna need something sturdy, because we're gonna be wrapping that yarn around the project. We also have some cotton balls, tape, and a black marker, and I've chosen one of the optional things, Q-tips, and I'll go over the other optional clothespin. I'm not going to use them, but I will show you where you all can use them. So first things first, to get started with our birch trees, you're going to take your piece of string. The easiest way for me, you don't have to use tape, but the easiest way that I found it was to tape a piece of string to the back so that it holds it in place, so that I can start wrapping it a little easier. And you can also, if you want, you can tape your paper in place as well, but after a few wraps with the yarn, it kind of stays in place. So you're just gonna wrap and wrap and wrap until you either run out of string or you're satisfied. Mine are kind of pre-cut, so I'm gonna do another piece here. And it is perfectly fine if these aren't straight. It's almost more natural looking if they aren't straight, so just keep that in mind. But again, this is your piece, so if you want them to be perfectly straight, go ahead. So I have my yarn wrapped around my piece of paper. I've taped it on the back. You can tie them together if you don't have tape or if you just prefer that way. But these are our birch trees that we're gonna be working with, and the yarn is our resist layer. So just keep that in mind whenever we move forward, that these will be picked up later and you will see how it has resisted the paint. But next step, you're going to take your cotton ball, and we are going to use the paint to create a scenery. And now if you do have clothespins, this is where you would be using them. It's just to help kind of keep the mess off of you, so you would just attach it to your cotton ball and then dip it into the paint. But I like being hands-on, so I'm just going to use my fingers and go right at it. And with this scenery, you can do it however you want. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing. I'm going to be doing kind of like a fall scene, but you could do a sunset, you can do just a regular green grass, blue sky, some clouds in the background. There's so many you can do at nighttime, winter. Think about the seasons. There's so many different options you can go with for the background. So get creative with that part and have fun with it. But like I said, I'm gonna do a fall background, I think, and I'm gonna start with some yellow. And there is a lot of paint, so if you have another piece of paper around, it might be good to just kind of dab it off. So then you're just gonna take it to the page and just kind of like, I don't know if any of you all have done the pointillism project, but it's very similar to that. You just dab. You're not brushing with your cotton ball because you don't want your paint to go underneath the yarn that is your resisting layer, so you want to just keep that in mind. One trick I would suggest is to use a different cotton ball for each color that you use. I would assume most of you all would do that, but I just wanted to point that out. Is finished. I kind of have a fall thing going on here. I really like the looks of it. It's also kind of rainbowy, which I always love, so that's also cool. Now the next part is to take off our resist layer, the yarn, and see the beautiful birch trees that we have left behind. So carefully remove your yarn because you can wait until the paint is dry, but if you are impatient like me and you're just gonna go for it, just be careful because that paint is wet and you don't want to get it on yourself. Alrighty, look at that. So as you can see, the yarn has resisted the paint and left those beautiful white areas behind. It's okay that paint has gone under the yarn. I kind of like it just because it's not perfect, and that's, you know, that happens in art sometimes. It's not always perfect. One thing I forgot to mention though, you can use the Q-tips to go in between the yarn whenever it was previously on there. Cannot talk today. You can add some flowers or some clouds, really whatever you want, or you can just go in and just dot all around and have some fun with it. But we have our beautiful birch trees, like I said, but to finish them and to actually make them look like birch trees, you are gonna take your black marker and you're gonna go into the white spots and draw some lines. Now they don't all need to be perfectly spaced out or all the way across, and if you want to get fancy with it, you can add kind of like a curve to it that gives it more of a three-dimensional look. But you just place them wherever you feel it should go. And if you want to skip this step entirely, that's also okay. You do not have to be making birch trees. You could be making just really cool abstract art, and that is perfectly fine as well. One thing I didn't mention, but I'm sure some of you all saw me do it, I doubled up my string on this one, so it's a little thicker than all the other ones. So if you want a thicker birch tree, then just double up or even triple up on your yarn right there, and it will give you more space, more white space to work with. Ta-da! That is our beautiful birch tree scene. And like I said earlier, you do not have to make birch trees out of this. You can take the process that I just showed you with wrapping the yarn and make anything that you want. It's just a really cool process, and I just wanted to show you all one of the things that you all can do with it. But that is our project, and I hope you all really enjoyed it. All right, and there you have it. That is our resist art project for the week, making birch trees using yarn as our resist layer. Very cool stuff. I wanted to show you all the project that we just did together again, because I also have another project that I did, and I wanted to show you all the different kind of sceneries that you can do, the different backgrounds. So this one has a sunset, and this one's more of that fall autumn feel. But like I said, there's so many different backgrounds you can do, so really get creative with it and share with us. We always love to see your artwork. Share it to Warren County Public Library, and until next week, do more art and have a good week.